Welcome, hello. It is the best time of the year. It is time for a little bit of liquid HayprO against Empire.Kas. The map is going to be on Crevasse with HayprO in the bottom right as the blue Zerg, and in the top right we have Empire.Kas as the red Terran.
And you'll have to excuse me as I try to get my sync going once again. I think I had the wrong patch in there, and actually, nope, I just don't see you guys, so hopefully everything will go fine. Sorry about that. All right, Day, so yes, positions here. I love TVZ lately, man. I hate playing it. I hate certain maps TVZ, but I got to tell you, Day, I just love watching.
Absolutely, and it really is one of those like super crazy dynamic matchups. I mean, there is always so much dodging going on with the Banelings in play. There's always so much harassment with the possibility of air, with the possibility of drops and this sort of thing. So I am always incredibly excited to see the way that these strategies are going to pan out, especially on this new GSL map, Crevasse, due to the fact that really there's a lot of variety that happens with that little tiny, easy to defend Expo at the back, the one single geyser.
Yeah, and I mean, that can actually have different effects on different races depending on the types of builds that you're going to go for. So I always, in some of the replays that I've watched on this map, you could tell, just like in Idra, he went for the juicy one, and it looks like HayprO is going to do the exact same thing, and I just find that really interesting. Sometimes we do see them go for that inside, but the Zergs, they like it juicy, and so they always tend to go for those outsides, which is exactly what he did here. Drone now going to go out to scout. Pool's going to be following right behind this. Meanwhile, we've got the front barracks, and could see a second barracks here, possibly, considering that we got the supply depot in the back, but we'll have to see what Kaz has in store.
Do see, of course, no gas at all going down for Empire.Kas. Always a huge reveal, and the question is going to be, will HayprO spot that? We do see Hatch First again. I'm always very interested to see how the Hatch First play will pan out because of the fact that we do not get to see it as much. But indeed, we do see that there is a command center going down for Empire.Kas up in the back side. It is also going to be very late gas for HayprO as well. Looks like he has opted not to get that gas for a while himself.
And like you had mentioned, the Terran taking that little back expansion there. Sean, we got a couple drones moving on down to populate this hatchery, and just kind of wondering, you'd mentioned that HayprO definitely been playing some solid macro games as of late. We saw several different styles of strategies out of him, out of the show matches and the games leading up to that as well. So again, I really am excited because I feel like this is a really solid matchup, and it's going to generate a really even game. Got a couple Zerglings that are now out. They'll make their way over. This hurt drone is going to make it back home, thank goodness, as we get more drones coming out. Queens at both locations. First queen is out. She will vomit here, and that is another thing to consider. If you're going to take that faraway base, you probably want to get that tumor down very early.
That poor scouting Marine for Empire.Kas gets murdered by 3 Zerglings. There are 3 accomplices together. They will provide alibis. No. I was at my mom's house last night. Nothing happened. But it does look like, Empire.Kas in a moment of panic blasts his own barracks a little bit with those Marines. But now popping down the ramp, HayprO will indeed have to retreat. And it seems like Empire.Kas going for the 3 barracks post-expand play. Very easy way to get a decent number of Marines out and then followed up with pretty fast medevacs.
Day, I want to talk with you a little bit. You see where the Zerglings are coming from right now, and of course where the Spinecrawler is at the natural of HayprO. Right here is very interesting, especially based off of where the Terran is. They could break down these rocks, and then what do you think about a Zerg having to defend against a sieged up Terran right here on the ramp? It's so close, they could kind of leapfrog their way down. I mean, as far as positions go, that just seems really scary and something I'd be worried about from HayprO.
Yeah, that definitely is a concern on the ground front, but consider the Terran's problems on the air front. Look at how vulnerable that second base is for Empire.Kas. The minerals are even on the Mutalisk attacking side, so this means that HayprO has the opportunity to do big pushes and pressure from air, and then easily pull back to the very nearby ground expo. So that does mean that HayprO has the air advantage, but later in the game, Empire.Kas will have the ground advantage, so it ends up having somewhat of a balance.
All right, well, we'll be looking for that. No lair as of yet. We do have a +1 melee coming, and we do have a Baneling's Nest going down as well. I hear some Zerglings beating away on something. Looks like these front rocks are going to go down, and that's very smart. We got that creep tumor out there spreading that creep as well. We got one Hellion out on the map now. Meanwhile, behind there, just a lot of Marines. We do have siege tanks starting to pop now with siege mode on the way, and that would be definitely the thing that I would be most scared of. Hellion's going to take a spot here at the Xel'Naga Tower, get some vision, and are we going... Roach Warren's going to go down, and then probably... There we go. Lair has now begun.
And it looks like Empire.Kas, instead of getting any sort of aggressive medevac play, going to go directly for the tanks. A lot of tank marine pushes have become very popular in this matchup. And in fact, Terrans have begun to push right when they have stim, not even waiting for that combat shield. It looks like HayprO trying to sneak in an Overlord, but Empire.Kas will be able to pick it off before the factories get spotted. It looks like he'll be able to maybe see a tech lab. He does spot a tech lab, but has no idea what is attached to it. So we'll have to prepare for a little bit of a variety, but at the same time, I love the fact that HayprO is only just now getting that layer close to completion.
Yeah, it's kind of funny. I don't know what's better or worse, like having seen it or not having seen it at all. It kind of may put more questions in your head. And look, we do have this Terran force moving out. Zerglings will see it. We've got a very healthy amount of Marines here, about 19, 20. Got a few siege tanks, and I love the Hellions on point as well. He could scan, take out some of these creep tumors. There is a second spine crawler down as well. What do we have out for the Zerg right now? Just 11 Zerglings at 45 drones, 6 Banelings being morphed, but will it be enough?
And it looks like the scan to pick off the creep tumors, and I love that siege tank positioning there by Empire.Kas up on that high ground. Very careful to inch his way forward. Those 4,000 games of experience have taught him that if you try to get a little impatient, you are going to get absolutely murdered by those strong Zerg players. A lot of Banelings getting morphed, but Baneling speed not quite close to done. There's the siege tanks beginning to take out that spine crawler. At the same time, back in the main, Empire.Kas adding on more barracks, adding on an extra command center. This is a very nice play to help him get a third base.
Yeah, and this kind of a scary little group here that is started to make their home here by Kaz. He does have some Zerglings in the back, which he could use to tighten a sandwich, but he obviously has to worry about those siege tanks that are right there, covering a very large portion of the ground. He has almost got his Baneling speed finished up. His Spire has started, and +2 to the melee attacks, and I do like this. I kind of like the style of play that we've been seeing from Zerg as of late, really focusing on the Zergling and their attack, all their upgrades. The orbital command, excuse me, just the command center has moved over now, and he's got another force moving out. This second force growing, and here comes the attack from HayprO. He's going to move forward. Wow, with all those Banelings, he will manage to effectively take out everything.
That
like
was
a flash of the pan.
Just not close. Yeah,
I'm not sure the Kaz was looking at that.
Well, Kaz looks like has an even bigger army swinging back around. Again, the whole point of that attack was not to try to end the game, but was instead to try to do a very solid light contain in order to help Empire.Kas get this third base up. And if you go back to Empire.Kas's main, you see factories out, you see tons of reactors on those barracks, the upgrades also churning, and it looks like a couple of Zerglings in the middle are going to get picked off. Empire.Kas continuing to ramp up the pressure as we see more Zerglings and Banelings popping out for HayprO.
And now we do have some mutas on the way as well. 6 about ready to come out. Terran has taken this spot in the middle day, and such an annoying little spot to be. He's really going to have to rely on those mutas to do the damage, because it's going to have a hard time getting out of here. The Terran almost has complete coverage of any exit that the Zerg could possibly take. There are a few Zerglings back here that have been ignored right now, and I would love to see them swing around, maybe do some damage here to the third of Kaz. But again, Kaz being really effective with these Marines, moving them around. He's going to actively be scouting. Oh my gosh, just as the hatchery goes down, he will find it. He'll force a cancel, and just great scouting there. He's going to leave the drone, being a little passive here. There we go.
Yeah, I love Empire.Kas. No funny business at all. Not going to wait for that hatch to finish. Does look like HayprO pops into the back, and here's the air threat that Empire.Kas has needed to worry about all game long. He is going to have a long walk path with all those Marines to try to retreat. It looks like HayprO knows this, putting the pressure on, picking off all those SCVs, and we see 40 Zerglings in the production crew for HayprO. HayprO now picking off the armory as well, denying some of those upgrades. A couple Marines pop out. Stim will be able to push back these Mutalisks, but only temporarily, as we're seeing. Looks like big push by Empire.Kas at the front of the base, though.
Yeah, and he does have a good amount of Banelings that are morphing in right now. A few already finished, but he wants to get those numbers up a little bit. Might have just been just a quick way to distract him while he worked on those mutas a little bit. Doesn't look like he committed to that, and I think that was smart. However, now there are a lot more Banelings here for HayprO. He could easily disintegrate all those Marines. We got one Zergling checking out here, seeing what kind of coverage those siege tanks have, and let me tell you, they have incredible coverage. Love the missile turrets down here to try to keep those mutas out of the battles here at the middle, but the mutas heading back over also do see those lings are getting closer and closer to that third of his opponent. Again, would love to see some Baneling harass there in some capacity. Mutas are going to come back. More Banelings being morphed and more upgrades being had. A ton of Zerglings on the production tab.
And look at this, we even see back in Empire.Kas' third base, we see a third factory and a fourth factory also going down. We don't see that armory on the map yet, so he is going to need to get that if he needs any Thors, or more importantly, those upgrades. There's the armory just starting right now, and Empire.Kas continues to amass a gigantic force of Marines, and it looks like the Mutalist trying to swing around, at the very least picks off that Marine at the Watchtower, and it looks like, oh no, a stim by Empire.Kas. So dangerous with no medevacs on the map. That is about, I don't know, maybe 150 life worth of damage those Marines just voluntarily accepted. And there's another restim again, picking off 10 energy from himself at a time. And it looks like the big enough distraction allows HayprO to swing in with a ton of Banelings and Zerglings. Oh my goodness, just ripping apart those Marine numbers and just blasting apart the contain that was at his front. HayprO is contained no longer.
Yeah, that was pretty epic right there. Mutas come in along with some Lings and a few Banes to clean things up. However, the threat is not over yet. Oh my god, we're going to have another ninja spot right here as HayprO tries to go for this expansion to the southwest side. A group of Marines who have been smartly scouting around. Unfortunately, those guys are going to meet horrible demise. They are all hurt very badly. Another stim there to make it even easier to take down. It's like, well, might as well. And look at this, the hatches being taken here at the front. I had mentioned the threat of the Terran tearing down those rocks and going in and assaulting the Zerg, but maybe we'll have a role reversal here today, as it looks like the positioning here of the Zerg is that he wants to move just a little bit forward, is expanding out as well. So Day, really excited. I think that was a great battle from HayprO, and he really came out on top.
Such a dynamic game between these two players, with the slow pushing and pulling back of this tank Marine force, and HayprO constantly trying to find holes that he can just shove those Mutalisks into. We even see more expansions at the bottom left, finally not going to get ninja'd, as there are no more Terran units wandering that bottom left half of the map. HayprO continuing to churn out more Zerglings, more Banelings, and it looks like right as the tank's unsieged, HayprO advances forward. Perfect timing by HayprO. The Banelings trying to roll forward, but they are caught at the back, and Kas has a lot of Marines, and there's some huge hits. Managed to take out significant numbers of those Marines, but we see HayprO with those Mutals a little bit behind, darting forward to try to magic box that Thor, but with the Marine support, the Thor is going to live quite easily.
Yeah, and you know, this is kind of like the scary moment right here. Although he did take out a lot of units, you can see that you can see that Kas, just the amount of production buildings that he has is actually going to let him really reinforce quickly. There, Zerg is going for that wall. This could be a double counterattack here. No, Zerg is going to come back in, but there are no Banelings to assist here. Zerglings are going to move forward, upgraded. They do manage to melt through a lot of those Marines, but their numbers are dwindling. 1-4 does go down, but the Muta health is also very low, and he's likely going to lose this. I think not having Banelings really hurt him in that last battle.
And there the Mutile is coming forward for just a moment, but the Thors, with their absurd range, take that down. Another expansion done right now for Kas, slamming mules onto those minerals to ramp back up his income. And if we do go to that income tab, look at the 72 harvester count for Terran. Rarely do you see a Terran out droning a Zerg opponent. We see HayprO trying to transfer some drones back to that bottom left side, which he is definitely going to need to do if he wants to get that economy back up. But look at Kas swinging all the way back around. Looks like he is going to take the more vulnerable attack side in that bottom left and clear out extra mining from his opponent.
Yeah, I think he's going to go ahead and do this, but is the Zerg just going to go ahead and counterattack here, maybe go after one of these bases or try to save what is down here? There is a huge force, and, well, we see a lot of Banes moving through the middle of the map, but there are only a few Zerglings and one Muta. This kind of looks like a desperation attempt right here. We see the Planetary Fortress, and is he going to go for the Marines? He does, and then the Planetary gets a lot of SCVs, will clean up these Marines, but does it even matter because there's still all this in the middle, and that is mighty scary for any Zerg.
Small Marine troop at the bottom left, eliminating the Expo, and good game. Empire.Kas gives the good games, clearly having a little bit of the finger jitters, just spamming a little bit there, but I'm not surprised when you got the adrenaline coursing through you like that. I do not blame him, and that once again is going to put our good Korean practice player down 0-1 in the TSL. Just insane to me how often these remarkable players are struggling.
Sean, let's talk about that there, because we saw that initial ramp contained there by Kas at the, just at the top of his ramp outside of the natural of HayprO, and he was able to defeat that force really well. There was another incoming force which was dealt with by HayprO, but it looked like he needed to make a decision right there, and his unit composition just wasn't enough. Like, from your analysis, where do you think the breakdown was there?
I mean, I really think that it was actually just slow chipping going on by Empire.Kas. I do think that one of HayprO's big, I want to say flounders, but I think that that's actually the fish from The Little Mermaid, but I'll go ahead and use that word. One of his big flounders in that game was the fact that he was not aggressively going for those bottom left expansions enough. I mean, HayprO was doing some amazing positioning to deal with those pushes, but Kas made sure that HayprO's entire focus was just on those pushes. After every push from Kas did fall, HayprO just came out, Kas would come out with just a bigger push or another expansion, and rarely ever did it seem like HayprO was in control. And the only way to combat that is to either be hyper-aggressive as Zerg or hyper-expanding as Zerg, and we didn't quite see either of those from HayprO. So I think HayprO, again, is going to have a little bit of trouble getting in the groove, as most players do, but going into Game 2, it's going to be on crossfire. It's a good chance for HayprO to sort of think about the way he played in Game 1, make those adjustments, and possibly try to pull ahead.
Well, I'm definitely excited to see what can happen in game number 2. Really felt like there was some back forth there, but as you mentioned, the chip damage coming in from Kaz, and eventually just wearing his opponent down and taking him out. So game 1 does go to Kaz. If you've just joined us, I'm sorry that you missed the epic battle between EG Idra and Complexity Cruncher. That'll teach you to never be late again. That one was a 2-1 in favor of Cruncher. And day 9, are you ready for game 2? Between Empire.Kas,
I am ready for game 2
and Liquid HayprO
of day 4. Yes, indeed, El Dr. Wheat. I'm ready to rock. Please, Wheat, lead us off.
Let's do it, guys. We're going to come up next with this game 2 of Empire.Kas, a Terran player versus Liquid HayprO, our Zerg, here for the PokerStrategy.com TSL 3 round of 32, day 4. Don't go away.